Okay, let's review the game week 15. So this game week I got about 57 points, which was definitely above average. It was enough to take me up to 52k from about 72k I think I was last time. I was 71k and now went up to 52k. So it's pretty good rank boost there. So I think when you review game week 15, probably the biggest source of points for me was the defense. So Martinez with a double-digit haul, and he's just been amazing for the last 4 games. He's got a tough run of fixtures coming up though, so I'm not expecting many clean sheets from game week 16 to 18. But Martinez is someone who could just rack up loads of save points, so he's a definite hold for me. Dallas has just been really good value. If you haven't got a Leeds defender, or if you're looking for a defender for the double game week in 19, I'd probably get Dallas because, I mean, you're not getting him for his clean sheet potential, you're mainly getting him for his attacking threat. But the fact that on their day Leeds can get their clean sheet makes him a really, really good value option. So happy with him. Kufal was one of my new signings. Unfortunately, didn't really look that great against Brighton. But I think the main reason I've got Kufal in was for those 2 home games in double game week 19. So hopefully he can get some more points along the way. Cancelo. So on my last video, I said that I was going to get Matip in for Chilwell. I mean, whoever knew Chilwell was going to start. I mean, he did start against Arsenal. He didn't do that great. But then I think I read something on Twitter that said Matip was really injury prone. That he never actually... I don't think he's played twice in a single week for a very long time. So I was just really put off by the fact that he was that injury prone. So I got in Cancelo instead, knowing that Walker was out. So Cancelo is a really good option because he can play either right back or left back. So and he's probably the first choice fullback in general for Man City at the moment. He was just so creative. He almost played like Kevin De Bruyne in the Newcastle game. The amount of through balls he was putting in, the amount of crosses he was putting in, it was just ridiculous how many chances he created. And even though he got a yellow card, he still went on to get 2 bonus. He's just such a good fullback for them. So I'm really happy with Cancelo. I think I'm just going to keep him all the way through, especially past the double game week for these nice home games against West Brom, Sheffield and Burnley. In midfield, I mean, I talked about the key players last week, which was Salah and De Bruyne. Both of them blanked, which I think shook a lot of people. Didn't really matter who I captained in the end because they both, neither of them scored. Fernandes, really good performance by him, but didn't really affect my rank too much because not many people are without Fernandes. Is 46% owned, but he's just doing really well. So he's a stone in my team. He's not going anywhere. Grealish, even though Villa absolutely demolished Crystal Palace, it was just mainly Watkins was getting all the assists, and Grealish did set up Watkins at least 2 times in that game, but Watkins just didn't finish it. So Grealish, I think, was unlucky to not get at least an assist in that game. But Villa in general are looking really strong, and even though their fixtures in the next 3 are quite tricky, they've actually performed quite well against the big teams. So against Liverpool, against Arsenal, they do quite well. So I'm happy to keep Grealish throughout this run, actually, because I'd want him anyway after game week 19. So I was considering getting rid of him before, but now I think I'm just going to hold. Son, I mean, Spurs' attack has just faltered quite a bit compared to how it was from, before game week 11. I think Mourinho at the moment, he's just setting up his team just to grind out those wins. So you saw when they went up 1-0, they were just sort of like almost holding back and trying to hit Wolves on the counter. Not really just constantly going for goals anymore. So before I think I was considering getting Kane in for the next 2 fixtures against Fulham and Leeds. But now I think I'm just going to hold Son. It's just too much money invested in attack, which is, looks like it's not really accelerating that much. It's just very stagnant at the moment. So Son I'm keeping for the next 2. In fact, he's probably going to stay with me, past the double game week as well. And up front, Bamford. I mean, Leeds' attack is great. Bamford took the penalty, which was a surprise. But hey, if you're a Bamford owner, you're probably not going to care about that. Well, all that matters is that he scored, and potentially now he's going to be on penalties, which is really exciting. So if you haven't got Bamford in, just get him in. He's great pick. Calvert-Lewin hasn't really scored in the last 4 to 5 game weeks, which is a bit worrying. But I think Everton in general can score against anyone, and whenever they do score, he's got a high chance of being involved in that goal. So I think, again, I'm just going to keep him. I've just got too much value tied up in him. He's probably a season keeper for me, but I do agree he hasn't looked that great recently. But I've got other transfers that I want to be making apart from him. So that was the Game Week 15 review. Let's quickly look at the key fixtures for Game Week 16. And probably the two main best fixtures on paper are the ones on Wednesday. Spurs versus Fulham and Newcastle against Liverpool. So both these teams have an extra day rest compared to the other teams who are playing slightly earlier. So the likes of Salah, Mane for Liverpool, and then Kane and Son for Spurs, they get a good rest. So I think in terms of captaincy, you're probably wanting to captain either a Spurs or a Liverpool player because they've got the best fixtures on paper. I'm definitely going Salah again. Liverpool didn't look that great against West Brom, but I think the way Sam Allardyce sets up his team made it really difficult for them to get through. But Newcastle, I think, are a bit more penetrable for Liverpool, so I'm still going to captain Salah. And if you don't have Salah, or if you're fancying a bit of a differential captaincy pick, the other decent fixture probably is Leicester versus Crystal Palace. The only thing is, if you've got Vardy, I think Rodgers was talking about potentially resting him for the next game, although that's not 100%. But Leicester versus Crystal Palace, you'd imagine Leicester are going to score a few past them. Vardy could be a really good captaincy shout. I am actually really interested in Vardy, so now I'm just going to tell you about what my transfer plans are. So this week, I'm actually just going to hold my team and just play it as what you see here. So I've got Martinez, Dallas, Taylor, and Cancelo. Midfield and front two stay the same as last week. So I've replaced Taylor for Kufal. Taylor's got Sheffield United at home, which is a good fixture for him. And so I'm going to hold the transfer this week. And then for game week 17, I'm going to have 2 free transfers. And that's when I can start making my next big move, which is going to be De Bruyne out for Souček, who's got a good double game week coming up. And he's doing actually really well for a 5.1 player, getting really good points. So it's going to be De Bruyne out for Souček. De Bruyne's got Chelsea away, so I'm happy to take De Bruyne out in that week. And then with my other free transfer, I'm going to get in Jamie Vardy. So that would be my 2 free transfers for game week 17. Vardy's away to Newcastle, so that's a good fixture for him, and he's got a double game week. Souček I'll get in, but I don't think I'm going to play him. But it's more for a bench option, or the fact that I'm going to bench boosting double game week 19. So I've started coming up with a good squad for game week 19. Game week 18, I'm just going to free hit because I just don't have enough players to cover myself for that game week. And then game week 19, I'll have 1 transfer to make then, and it's going to be to get Diaz in, and then just have a City block, because defensively I think that's the way to go for City. They're not scoring as many goals as they did last time compared to last season, but I think defensively they're really good. So I'd have Diaz and Cancelo for game week 19 and bench boost with this team. That's the plan. I've got 0.1, so I am expecting Diaz to go up a little bit in price for game week 18 because a lot of people are going to get him in. But hopefully I'll be able to afford this team. And then going forward after game week 19, I'd really want that City block just for their fixtures. They've got 3 really good fixtures after that, all potentially clean sheets. So Diaz and Cancelo would be a really good option there. And Vardy as well, he's got a good set of fixtures after the double game week. Everton, Leeds, Fulham, Wolves. So that's my plan at the moment, is just to hold and then do my 2 free transfers for Vardy and Souček the following game week. So hope that's okay. Hope everyone's had a good game week 16. And then hopefully we can all get a good captaincy return as well in this game week. And hopefully there aren't too many injury and rotation concerns as well. Especially for my team, because I just don't have the bench cover to really support that much injuries, or if there is much rotation. So yeah, I'll see everyone for game week 17 and wish you all the best of luck.